When it comes to writing about themselves, many teens panic. Choosing a topic for the Common App can feel overwhelming. Teens often worry they'll pick the wrong story because in their minds, this essay could determine acceptance to a dream college and the launch of a dream career, or ultimately failure. I've helped hundreds of applicants through the admissions process over the past 15 years, and I'm here to walk you and your teen through tips and techniques to reduce stress and produce a compelling, authentic college application essay. First, start early. The Common App essay prompts typically come out in late winter, so don't wait until fall of senior year. Begin conversations in January of your teen's junior year about how they'll schedule in essay writing time. Offer support, but let your teen stay in the driver's seat. Encourage them to map out a plan. They should start brainstorming in February or March and begin writing shortly after. Don't delay, as May and June tend to be busy with final exams. Consistent progress with realistic planning around extracurriculars and exams can help your teen finish the essay by July, if not sooner. So let's talk about that writing schedule. Let your teen choose when and where, but make sure they've blocked out consistent times in their calendar. You might have a highly motivated teen who needs no reminders from you, but it's great to have an initial sit-down session to make sure they've got their plan mapped out over a select period of months. Other teens work best in structured bursts. One great option is a school-organized summer writing session where students brainstorm, draft, and revise their essays, often in a week-long clinic. For especially busy students, say those in demanding sports or extracurriculars, consider chunking the work. Set up bi-monthly virtual meetings with an admissions consultant where they write in real time 1-hour sessions. The writing gets done in a structured appointment, which builds over time into the finished product. Another tip to help your teen: help them create a creative atmosphere. Ask your teen where they feel most inspired. Are they a night owl who writes best alone late at night, or would they rather join friends at a cozy cafe, a park, or even a museum to write? Turn writing time into something to look forward to, a weekly or monthly ritual. Offer to give them rides or buy that first round of frappes. What you're aiming for is to facilitate a writing routine that helps your teen craft a Common App essay they're proud of, rather than a last-minute draft created in a panic. Next, let's talk about how to encourage your teen's individuality in their essay. Admissions officers are looking for genuine insight into who your teen is and what they're passionate about. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen teens make is to try to mimic an accepted student's essay. Their voice is their superpower. Help them embrace it. I suggest starting with a story list before they even look up the Common App prompts. Encourage your teen to reflect on moments like a time they achieved something they're proud of, a challenge they faced, a moment they pursued something they wanted, a realization about a personal strength or superpower, a time they learned something meaningful about themselves, an obsession they explored deeply. These stories often reveal your teen's personality, values, and growth. And if your teen is working with us here at Accepted, we would do this brainstorming together. Once they've landed on a story they're excited about, match it to a Common App prompt. If nothing fits perfectly, they can always use the final option topic of your choice. Next, it's time to craft the story into a narrative. Here's a great technique to structure that narrative. It's called the SOAR format, S-O-A-R. S stands for situation, where you were, who you were with, and what you were doing. O stands for open up. Tell us your interior monologue about the situation. Was it the culmination of years of hard work and you were feeling amazing? Was it a low point where you felt confused or vulnerable? A stands for action. Walk the reader through your thinking. If you're describing an amazing moment, take us back in time to tell us how you analyzed how to get to that point. Did you make any mistakes along the way? How did you readjust and determine to keep going? If you were at a vulnerable moment in that situation, walk us through your thinking about how you move forward and readjusted. R stands for results. What was the impact after you took action? Did your values change? Did you have an effect on other people's lives? What did you learn? The language doesn't need to be polished or filled with big words. What matters is honesty, vulnerability, self-reflection, and evidence of emotional growth. So now let's touch on what not to do. Don't write the essay for your teen. You can be a sounding board if invited, though some teens prefer privacy, especially if they're writing about something personal. In that case, encourage them to find a trusted editor. If they want your input, here's a great method. Print 2 copies of the draft. Ask your teen to read it out loud. If something's unclear to you, ask what they meant. Tell them what you understood. Suggest where to clarify or what to trim if the story wanders. Let your teen do all the rewrites. You can do a final spell check, but leave the voice and content alone. Admissions readers can easily spot essays written by adults, and it's not a good look. A less polished but authentic, vulnerable essay can hit it out of the park. Now, big question, what about using AI? Be cautious. AI can be helpful for brainstorming and research, but it should not write the essay. If your teen is ready for college, they should also be ready, and I would argue willing, to write a personal essay. Admissions officers want to hear their perspective, not ChatGPT's. Overall, the Common App essay doesn't have to be a source of stress. With early planning, room for creativity, and the right kind of support, your teen can write something meaningful and memorable without resorting to all-nighters, unless that's their process. If you have questions about your teen's essay process or other parts of the application journey, drop a comment or sign up for a free 30-minute consultation. We're here to help your teen get accepted.